Welcome to Washington East to West Sports. This is episode 148. I am Matt Beatty, joined alongside as usual by Sean Beatty and Kevin Ardell. If you want to get involved in the show, go ahead and blue sky at us. I'm a Master B. Sean's Nasty Bailey 22. Kevin is Emerald Bowler on X. Sean is Nasty Bailey 22. Kevin is C to believe, SEA to believe. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like our videos. Tell us what you think of the topics we talk about in the comments below. Sunday is the big game, gentlemen. That's right, the Seattle Seahawks will be taking on the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, California. How we feeling? Kevin, how you feeling?
Uh, Doom and gloom, since we're gonna get beat 200 points. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Uh, it about essentially what I felt last week. Nothing has really changed. I feel like we're probably favored to win. Um, I think they'll put up a better fight than what most will, but I do I see the Patriots scoring more than 20 points? No. I think they could score 20 points or 21 points. Like, possible because they're gonna throw everything. It's a game of high motions. Things along that line. You might make a mistake, possibly that could, kind of like what we did with the Rams. But I just, yeah, I just don't see unless we like totally unless the only way this can go wrong. And I mentioned this because people are asking for it. Is two ways. One, we shoot ourselves in the foot multiple times. Or two, Sam Darnold gets hurt, has to be taken out. That's really the only chance, in my opinion, that the Pats really have against us. Um, and even then, like even if Sam Darnold goes out, I think we could still win. It would be closer. Um, but just because I think this defense is really, really good. Um, but overall, I feel pretty good. So
Yeah, I'm feeling more confident as it gets closer. Obviously, there's I'm not going to say the Seahawks can't lose because they certainly could lose. But I am feeling more and more confident as the game gets closer. Of course, I'm still nervous because you never know what could happen. But um, the more I think about this game, the more confident I get, and we'll talk about it with some bets and our predictions. But I think as long as the defense does its thing, I don't have a whole lot of concerns. Now, the Patriots might break out some trick plays or do some different things to kind of try and get going, but I think ultimately the Seahawks will prevail. But I'm ready to finally watch it. Sean, how are you feeling?
I'll say this. I mean, the Patriots they're a good team. They have a chance just as much as anybody. The old saying is that's why they play the game. Um, again, to both of your points, the Seahawks are just better at, I think, everything. I mean, maybe Drake May's a little better than Sam Darnold, but like with the surrounding team, yeah. I mean, consistently, it's pretty obvious. But the team around him isn't as good. Like the O line's bad, the receivers are worse, the running backs are worse. So like, I mean, one's in the MVP conversation, the other one's not. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But I just don't think that he's light years enough. It's not like Mahomes status where it's like, oh my gosh, he's gonna have to carry them all himself. He's not capable of that. And barring him literally having to have his best game of the season and the Seahawks making a ton of mistakes, which the Seahawks have done in the past. I mean, we've had multiple turnover games. I mean, I think in the Houston game, they turned the ball over three times. And the Rams game, they turned the ball over four times. So they've had some games where Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers. Let's be very clear here. That is the way that they're going to win this game if Sam Darnold gives them a shot. Now, Sam Darnold's been playing if Sam Darnold plays anything close to what he's doing in the playoffs, you're right. It's probably, other than like crazy, like fluke returns or a blocked kick or something like that. If Sam Darnold plays anything like he's played in the playoffs, I don't see how the rest of the talent on the Patriots matches up with the rest of the talent on the Seahawks. Like defensive wise across the board, maybe Christian Gonzalez is close to Spoon, but I don't. Even then, like I think per position, it's almost maybe they have some pretty good defensive tackles for New England, but like even then, like they're on, Leo and Byron Murphy are in the ballpark of them. It's like you're talking like fractions of like percentages worse than them. So it's like you're not really blowing any position out of the water versus the Seahawks. So and then on offense, like you said, like Diggs come back. Like, does any of those receivers really scare you? Like, and that O line really like is any good? Like, so unless like the Seahawks give him a shot and Drake May just plays like a psycho, I don't foresee it has to be that combo. It has to be that combo of something happening for them to win. But they can do it. It can be done. I wouldn't put it absolutely past. I'm not as like like as confident as I am of like if some miracle run by the Texans or the Chargers made it, but like they're better than that. But it's not in the realm of possibility. But I'm pretty confident still. But I'm the more I get closer, I get nervous. I think that's just because it's a Super Bowl. like, I mean, they're 4.5 point favorites. I would take the over on that all day. But yeah, we just need to protect the football. That's it. Do not give them shots. Do not take dumb penalties. You know what I'm talking about. Like, and if we do that, if we don't have like 10 penalties and 2 turnovers, and we don't give them a shot and we just play our game, I don't see how they keep it within 10.
All right, well, let's talk about some news that has happened in the past week. So the Raiders are expected to hire Seahawks Klint Kubiak as head coach following the Super Bowl. Sean, what'd you think of this news?
Um, as someone who's kind of hard on Clint when he got hired because I wasn't so sure about him, from what I'd seen, and it was kind of like more actually. Now I think about it, it was more what I expected. He ran too much, but still, can only be so mad about the offense this year. I'm a little nervous, because then we got to now just hire another offensive coordinator. I mean, what if you get a terrible one? What if you get, go back to the well with that? So it just makes me nervous in terms for the Seahawks of like we know we're going to get with Klint Kubiak, and so it works. We know you could get better, could get worse though. Like the grass is always greener side of it, and I'll know better when we know what we replace him with. To answer this question, I'm good for him. You knew he wasn't going to stay here. He's only 39. You know how old he is? He's like our age, I think, somewhere around there. He's pretty young, so I figured he wasn't going to be here for 25 years or something like that. I figured he was going to move on eventually. 1 year seems pretty quick, but he had a lot of hype, and he's got comes from lineage. His dad was a coach for a long time, so I hope him nothing but the best with Fernando Mendoza. I hope he's good too. Rooting for those two over there. Yeah, let's see what happens. But I'm sad in terms of like now we're in the unknown. I knew what Klint Kubiak's going to give us. It's going to give us like the 13th best offense, and that's really good, especially with this defense. That's good enough. But yeah, I'm just nervous what's going to come next because I don't want like a Grubs thing because that makes us worse. But do I want something? I don't know what the unknown scares me a little bit there.
Kevin, how are you feeling about this?
Um, yeah, it's definitely not something to be happy about. This offense was doing well and could have, flourished even more, but we knew it was something that eventually would come to pass, just not, you know, as soon as kind of like what Sean mentioned. Um, as far as who they hire, yeah, because now you're kind of late in the game of the coach carousel. Of so your options are not great when this happens, or at least not that you don't have a good variety of field of who you're going to hire and things like that. So we shall see. Um, but yeah, it's not a good, not great, but not good. So
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I said I think this was going to happen, so I mean it makes sense. Like he's run a great offense in Seattle, certainly earned this job. And he gets the number one pick, and I assume it's going to be Mendoza. So he'll have the top pick quarterback, and he'll have I'm sure he's going to want to build that offensive line quite a bit while he's there. So uh, you know happy that he came here and he's had the success that he's had this year. I don't like the revolving door at offensive coordinator or any coordinator for that matter. It would be nice to get some consistency. So I'm curious what they do uh do, who they hire for this position. Um, I'm when I was kind of looking around and seeing who might be available, I'm not sure they're going to go with an outside hire. To me, the name that makes sense is offensive passing game coordinator Jake Peetz for Seattle. He's got 11 seasons coaching. He was two with the LA Rams before coming to coach for the Seahawks for a couple of years. And I think it makes sense if you
What was his position with the Rams? Do you know? I don't know.
let's see.
If you don't know, Dan, have to look it up. I
I
honestly, I don't know what he
I
was
don't
with the
know.
Rams.
Uh, was aided the 2023 Rams passing attack that saw, yeah, I don't know what his actual position
Oh,
was.
okay.
Pete's provided general support for McVay on the offense side of the ball and handled game management.
So will we assume he got a promotion here in Seattle then?
I
If
think
he
so.
didn't have a position, but he's the passing game coordinator here, we could assume he got a promotion.
I
Okay.
think so.
I'm just gauging if like he's a guy who wants to move up because there's some guys who just like a certain role,
True,
and
true.
I'm like, where is he? Like, is he trying to move up? Is he? Because you said 13 years. I'm like, that's a long time to not be higher than a passing game coordinator. So I was just like, is he trying? Some guy he might not even want it. Is what I'm trying to like saying. But
Right.
yeah,
True, true. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at
no, yeah,
the
but I
coaches,
agree.
and
I get what you're saying.
that
Yeah.
name kind of stood out to me with the amount of experience too. He's only 40, so it seems like
Oh,
that
okay.
could be a possibility because, maybe after 11 years you're looking to move up a little bit. And so we'll see what Mike and John want to do because there's a lot of guys that have moved around, a lot of guys that kind of cemented themselves after this last head coaching hiring spree. So I'm just kind of curious who they go. I don't want them to go down a road that's already been that like don't do Chip Kelly or anything like terrible, please. Like just I would like someone maybe fresh or new or give someone like young a shot, uh or maybe an up and coming guy like I really like the hire of Sean Mannion for Philly. That would have been a good one. Unfortunately he's in Philly now, so but I'm curious to see who they get and what his style is going to be because this team has had a pretty solid system of calling pretty good plays against whatever defense is called. So I'm just kind of curious which direction they go. So that'll be interesting to see once the season's over. And then the other piece of news that happened before after our last podcast was the Seahawks are going to be going up for sale allegedly after this season. This was reported by ESPN that the Seahawks are planning to go up for sale, although I believe Jody Allen denied it. So I'm kind of curious, but she is trying to sell the Trailblazers, so seems like that
Well,
would
she
make
denied
sense.
it because if you remember when Paul Allen passed, she has to sell it. I think it's in like within 10 years or 8 years or something like that. So it's going to be sold. The
Yeah,
question
and
is, they
it's
denied it being
almost 10
sold.
years, so you think
They
soon.
denied it being sold now,
Yeah.
is all they said. If you read the thing, she does not deny that they are going to sell the team. She
Well,
denies it
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
they're
So
saying
we're
right now,
focusing
but
on the sale of the Trailblazers, is what she says
yeah.
right now.
And
Yeah.
Sean, what do you think of this?
That, I mean, it obviously is huge who they sell it to because we've seen like ownership plays a big part in being good at not from almost any sports. If you have bad owners, meddling owners, there's owners who meddle in a good way and there's owners who meddle in a bad way. And I think it's usually to the extent of like how much you meddle. And so people can argue like all the time, like, oh, players and all this other stuff, but it really comes from the top down. Like if you have just bad owners, Jets and Giants, you're just not going. Giants is a bad owner for a different reason now in the news as of a couple of days ago. But also, can I say the trending things right now in order are James Harden, ICE debate, Bugs Bunny, and then the Epstein files. Is Bugs Bunny in the files? Like, why is he in the middle of that? Is what I want to know. But I just saw that took my eye.
I don't think those two things are related.
They better not be, but I just was like between Ice and Epstein, Bugs Bunny is in the middle there. I'm just like, what did Bugs do? But yeah, it's actually very important who takes over the role because bad owners can sink ships, and so obviously we have no idea who would take it over at this point, who has the money. It is probably at this point these companies are so valuable that one person really can't buy them. There's very few person like in single entities who buy these teams anymore. So I feel like unless you're going to get the Balmer to buy him, something like that, it's going to be a group of people. So like the Mariners. So speculating, who knows? I mean, I want it to be
Well,
good, but
let
you
me
know
ask
it's
you
coming.
this: do you think an owner or owners of another team in Seattle is likely to buy the team? I would probably say
I would like that
yes.
because it
I
make
would
me
say
feel
yes.
better. It
Yeah,
would make me feel better about them. I don't think they're going to go anywhere, obviously, but if they're
yeah.
local and in town, it makes me feel really good about them. That's really the only thing I care about the most is don't move and then be good. But I just don't want you to move is first and foremost. If you're bad, at least I saw the Seahawks, you know. But if you're, I need you to be home and good is what I want. So yeah, local, sign me up. Whoever buys it in their local, whatever it is, who cares? But just yeah, please keep them in Seattle.
Kevin, you've been advocating for this for a long time, actually. So, well, it was mainly when Pete was in charge, but how do you feel about this right now?
You did give
You
Jody a
you
hard
gave
time,
Jody a
Kevin.
lot over these years, man.
Yeah, you did give Jody a hard time there a while ago.
That's true. And that's just because I think that she was just unfamiliar. I think she's way more familiar with operations now, especially after hearing Mike McDonald on the radio this week. It sounds like she's way more invested, kind of in the Hawks like operations and things along that line as of recently versus like when she first was handed the team. I think she's just kind of like, oh, what? Okay, So that's why I feel like I was a little bit more on her, and then also like just with Pete just doing really dumb things too. It's just kind of like that's kind of like our saving ship, and then she's just like, well, I think Pete, luckily she did do the thing and axed Pete and kept John, and then went from there. So that was nice. So it did finally show that she kind of did pay attention. So that is good. Um, yeah, this is definitely a big thing. As Sean mentioned, you see franchises that struggle because they just have terrible ownership. Um, as far as it go, I mean, wouldn't they move? I think they're more likely to move, especially if the team was terrible. But since the team is like literally in a Super Bowl, I don't see them moving them at least for now. Um, and just because this team has, everybody saw like what happened once the Sonics left. And like the roar back of essentially like what Seattle fans did. So I really, really don't see another national team leaving this town again after like the complete blowback that happened with the Sonics, and the fact that they're still considering bringing back the Sonics, as we always say at the end of our podcast. Um, but uh, yeah, we definitely want somebody that's invested and like wants to make this team better. Is not a cheapskate, no John Stanton, you know, type deal. Someone that's gonna, but also somebody that's not like what the Bills owner did, and that just will like fire a good head coach just because he thinks that the head coach, you know, stood up for something, and he's like, well, you try to be toxic and blah blah blah. And it's just like, no, you don't know. Like, I want an owner that knows what they're doing and that like will essentially know like what's going on. Essentially, like don't make dumb rash decisions just because you're rich and be like you don't like being talked to in a certain way. Like, so unfortunately, this is just kind of a hope and pray scenario where we just hope that we get somebody that kind of knows what they're doing and that will let John and Mike, do their things, and then we'll kind of go from there. And hopefully, they're not cheat sheets. So
Yeah, I think my biggest caveat is I hope Jody, whoever it's sold to, just gets assurances that they're not being moved. That's all I really care about. I mean, if an owner from another place buys the team, just don't move them. That's all I ask. So we'll see because rich people do what they want to do. So
it also makes me
uh,
wonder if like Jody could have a clause to where she could buy it herself.
I thought that too,
it,
but I think she has to sell it, and you're saying could she buy it back? That's lawyer stuff. I don't even
yeah,
want to pretend to
I
help.
don't know
Like
how that would work.
you'd have to think with him passing that like he would put some sort of clause in the will that like if Jody did end up wanting to keep it, like that she would have.
It was specific that they had to sell them. There's a specific clause. She had to sell the Trailblazers and the Seahawks within X number of years.
Which is
Yeah.
just so odd for
I
like
don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
The obvious name, or the obvious, I think ownership group would be the Kraken. David Bonderman, Todd Lukey, Andy Jassy, and Jerry Bruckheimer own the team as an ownership group. That's a possibility. They do have quite a bit of cash. I did Google billionaires in Washington that could probably just buy it straight up if they really wanted to. Steve Ballmer's the biggest name on here. He co-owns the Clippers, so maybe he's looking to add more to his sports portfolio. Bill Gates, don't see that happening. Melinda French Gates, don't see that happening. Mackenzie Scott, do not see that happening either. Gabe Newell is the Valve president,
He's not.
and
He's not
I
diddling
don't,
that water.
I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to get in that water, but that'd be cool to have two teams owned by video game companies just for funsies. Charles Simonyi, Microsoft employee, and then Howard Schultz, that name does make sense, although he doesn't have enough to buy him outright, so he'd have to have some friends help him out. Then there's John Stanton, Craig McCaw, wireless pioneer, Rich Barton, co-founder and CEO of Zillow, and then also Expedia. And then there's Orion Hindawi and David Hindawi, uh, Tanium co-founder. I don't know what that is, cybersecurity firm. So those are the guys who, if they wanted to, could probably ask a friend or just buy it straight up. So there are some people in Washington, if they have the interest, that could do it. Outside of that, I'm not really sure what would happen. You guys want to go Green Bay Packers out, buy shares maybe, or Seattle?
I mean, shares would be the way to keep it. Would
Yeah,
be to keep it in Seattle. I mean,
exactly,
that's for sure.
exactly. Yeah,
But
that doesn't seem likely, but you never
I
know, I
mean, they have
suppose.
success with it. I mean, if
I
you have
know. I,
passionate fans, like
yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Honestly,
like it, but I don't think that's gonna
that
happen.
did run by my mind, like because we are probably one of the top fan bases that like just is so passionate about their team, kind of like what Green Bay is, to where like you could like put it in stock shares, but um, yeah. I honestly I think that could be a route that they could look into, but
Like if you did what, $100 a share, maybe 1,000, I might be in. I might be in.
I'd be into own part
Yeah,
of the Seahawks. But I
yeah.
think
Don't you own part of Manchester United, Sean, or Man City or something like that?
Nolan does.
Oh,
Nolan
Nolan does.
does.
Sorry,
He has
sorry.
one share
Yeah.
in Manchester United.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but he as a welcome to Earth gift. Shout out. It's honestly the coolest gift. I was looking for one for Owen, but I couldn't find anything other than like Australian rules football at the time. So I was like, it's not happening. But it's yeah. I what about is it who's Bill Gates' wife?
Melinda
She has
French
enough to
Gates.
buy it.
Uh, I mean, it's possible. It feels like for the
How
definitely
Seattle is
upper
it
echelon of rich people,
for
if you
so
wanted to own a team, you would probably already own a team. But
well, but like she just got all of her money, so or like sole possession of all her money. You know what I mean? And so like
yeah,
uh a very Seattle thing, first women's hockey coach, first solo female owner of a team. I
yeah,
mean, she's
I,
not moving, like she's here.
yeah.
So kids were here, all raised here, so she wouldn't move the team. Um, pass off from one female owner to the other. I don't know. That's maybe the one of the
her
billionaires I
and
don't have
Jody
a
go
problem with.
halvesies.
What's up?
I said maybe her and Jody go halvesies.
Yeah, but
Maybe yeah. See, Jody sells 51% to Melinda, and then
is
Jody's
that
got the
maybe
other
a loophole?
49.
Yeah, you have to share majority or something. I don't know the
Yeah,
loopholes
maybe. I
there,
don't
but
know.
like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
could she sell it to somebody and then buy it back from the person? Because technically, I transfer the ownership, and then I'm buying it back. Would that be a loophole? I mean, it would go against
Who
the
knows?
will's wishes, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But like, you're gonna loophole somebody after they're gone, I guess. But yeah,
All right. Well, we'll see what happens there, but let's talk big game and let's talk some Super Bowl bets. So, ever since sports betting became legal in Washington at tribal casinos, I've gone and placed bets for every Super Bowl. Now, normally my team's not in it, so it's just kind of a way to keep the game interesting. But this year, uh, I had to kind of really think about it because I'm like, oh, my team's in it this year. So I'm gonna go down some bets that myself and Grandma place. You guys tell me what you would do. First touchdown, Cooper Cup.
I mean, it's reasonable. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's very likely. What odds did you get on
It is plus 12,000, so she'd
it?
win
Okay.
$60 off a $5 bet.
Yeah, I mean that's about right. Yeah, it's not super likely, but it's not like just burning your dollars. So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you take the over or the under? Kenneth Walker rushing yards 74 and a half.
Under.
I thought I would take the over on the Rams game, and they scored 38 points, and he was only had like 65 rushing yards because I think he's going to have total yards is going to be much higher. But yeah, rushing yards, I agree with Kevin. I think under because he's going to
And
be
this
involved in other facets of the game.
Patriots defense is better at stopping the run than the Rams
But I
too.
think to that point, though, Kevin, if the Seahawks get up like we're going to say, they're going to force Kenneth Walker the ball, and
That
Yeah,
doesn't mean he gets yards.
yeah, it always
it's true.
does. It's just not
I
effective yards.
I
You,
would
when you
agree
run
with
the
you
ball, you'll get
guys.
yards.
I agree
It's
with you
just not
guys.
effective
Grandma
yards.
took the over. Grandma took the over.
Okay.
Uh, Here's a good one. Sam Darnold, rushing yards, 6.5. I Grandma
Under,
took the
under,
over. I would take the under.
under,
I would take the under for
under.
sure.
Under.
I mean, he could do it.
He
Will
could.
he do it? Is a different question.
One
I say
scramble. That's
under.
all it
I
is.
say
But minus some
under.
sacks.
It's
But
under. Oh, does it count sacks yards too?
sacks would count negatively towards your
So
rushing
it would
total.
count. Well, it depends on the sack. Okay, then there's no shot.
No. Under.
And then Grandma's biggest potential payout: any player to record a sack and an interception.
You need one player.
Yes.
Oh, oh.
And but candidate I'm thinking of is be Ernest Jones. That would be, I think, the most likely. Maybe Leo actually. Maybe
Well,
Leo actually has.
I'd say actually more like you could say Nick or Spoon
Yeah.
because you
I think Nick and Kevin
quarterbacks.
nailed it the first time. I think Nick is the guy. If Nick's the one who can get it done, I think.
Yeah.
All right, my
'Cause
bets.
he blitzes enough. Yeah, I think he can get it done.
The jersey number of the first touchdown scorer over under 11 and a half.
The jersey number.
Yes.
Over.
So for the
I
Seahawks,
I did
it's
take the
everyone.
over, so it
Yeah,
can't be JSN, it can't
and
be
it can't
Cooper
be Kenneth
Kupp, it can't
Walker.
be Kenneth Walker.
I thought Cooper. Is Cooper Cup 10?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought it was 12. Oh no, you can't be 12, obviously. Okay.
I'm hoping
You took
AJ
the.
Barner. That's what I'm hoping for.
Is it
Or
first
Jake
touchdown?
Bobo. Or Jake
Is
Bobo.
it first touchdown for the Seahawks or
No,
first
no.
touchdown period?
First
First
touchdown period.
I don't know the numbers of the Patriots players.
Booty's 9, Diggs is 8. The running backs are higher than that. Drake May's 10.
10. Okay. What is their kick returners number?
I have no idea.
He's really good too. But he's probably gonna be higher than that, right? He's gotta be like
I'm sure
Sheehy.
Henry's
He's
like
also over.
8 something.
He's 22, so that
Yeah,
would
Sheehy's
fit
over,
for
and I
me.
assume their kick returners also over. So I'm gonna say you're gonna go over. Man, that's hard. I,
Yeah, stuff.
I might say under. There's just everybody that's gonna probably score is under. I
I
think
took the over because it was less. It
it's
was a
got good
bigger
odds.
payout.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
it's a
got
bigger
good odds.
payout.
Yeah, I get it.
At least one touchdown scored in each quarter. I said yes. Either team.
No, I say no.
De- Defenses are so good. I'm gonna say no.
I think it could be a situation like the Rams game. Not like exactly like that, but like maybe if the I think it might come down to do the Patriots get a garbage time touchdown because I think at a certain point the Seahawks are going to wear them down. They're just going to beat up that offensive line so much, and they're going to get a lead, and they're going to like what I'm telling Kevin, they're going to run Kenneth Walker and kill some clock. And
Any
I think they're just going
quarterback to throw a 60-yard touchdown pass.
to be just a pass of 60 yards.
60-yard
Yes.
touchdown pass.
Oh, 60-yard touchdown? No, no.
Does that mean after the catch, like a screen? And
Well, it's
Yeah.
just total. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
however they score.
I'd take it.
I took it because it was
We've done it before.
not the favorite, and it would get a decent payout.
Well, it's
Yeah,
not
Dennis,
obviously
tons of them.
people have
not
done
60,
it,
but I mean, he has a lot of deep shots now, 60 and overs.
but it
Like,
has to be a touchdown. It can't
Yeah.
just be
Yeah.
right.
like the Shaheed one wouldn't
I
count.
think there could be one deep touchdown.
Drake May
what I
does
took it.
like to throw the deep ball. He takes shots. So him actually is probably the one that's going to happen if it happens. Like I think it's going to be one of those like late in the game he's going to get desperate and he's going to chuck one up and you might get one at the end of the game. You know.
And then my biggest payout bet, if it hits, any player to record an octopus. I took a yes. You know what an octopus is?
No.
No.
The player scores a touchdown and then the subsequent 2-point conversion.
I think that's lighting your money on fire.
I know.
Like,
Well, it's
there's no
$5,
way.
so it's not that bad. But if it
There's
hits,
no way.
that's
There's
a
no
decent
way.
payout.
Oh. Yeah,
My thought was like a Kenneth Walker run and then a Kenneth Walker 2-point. Now
But
the Seahawks
they're
hopefully won't be in
very
that situation.
they're both really
Or
conservative coaches, unfortunately,
yeah,
too. So
so it
going
could
for
be a
two,
run
unless
run for like Travion or something like that.
yeah,
That's the only way it would probably work
they're
out. But
really
we'll see what
conservative
happens.
coaches too, unfortunately. So unless like yeah, I don't foresee a lot of 2-point conversions because they just don't. They're not. Neither coach is really aggressive. Now, if you had something like Ben Johnson, absolutely you smash that because that dude's gonna go for two
So
every
Sean,
like
another bet: will there be a 2-point conversion
success or attempted.
attempted?
Yes.
I
Garbage
think
time
so.
type,
I think so
garbage
as
time
well.
stuff. Yeah, I think garbage time.
I,
I'm
I I
anticipating
bet
this.
that last year, and it worked because Mahomes and them were down by so much they had to go for two to try and
Yeah,
get
that's
back
what I think
into
it's
it.
going to happen.
So
I think the Patriots are going to be down by a couple scores, and they're gonna throw that deep ball, might get a touchdown or do something, and they're going to go for two, and it's going to be put them down by 10 still or something like that. Like I think it's going to be that situation.
all right, one more before we get to predictions. Run out of time here. Can you guys guess the highest Seattle defensive player with the shortest MVP odds? Malcolm Smith was the MVP of the last Super Bowl the Seahawks won. Can you guys guess who the highest odds for a defensive Seahawks player to win MVP? This is according to Caesar Sportsbook at Little Creek Casino.
It's
oh, who on the team has the highest odds of win MVP?
No, 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 no. I'm
the
asking
lowest.
which
The lowest odds.
defensive player has the
Like the
best odds
starter?
on the
Oh,
Seahawks.
you has the best odds.
Yeah,
Has
that
the
has the
best odds.
best
Okay.
Oh,
odds
it
to
has the best
win
odds.
MVP according to Caesar Sportsbook. Which Seattle defensive player?
Probably, I'd say it's probably going to be Leonard or Spoon.
I'm going to either say
It should be Nick.
Ernest Jones or Nick Imanwari.
Yeah,
It is Nick Eamon with
Yeah,
yeah.
the
yeah.
seventh shortest odds
That would
to
have been
win.
my guess because Kevin, I agree. It's not necessarily even the best player like you did. I think he fills up a stat sheet because that's kind of what you need.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
Malcolm
gadget dude.
Malcolm Smith
Yeah.
wasn't even the best linebacker in that game. He just caught
No.
a touchdown and then ran it and then picked up a fumble. Like
Yeah.
he didn't actually do either of those plays. Like
The
I think Nick
the
could fill up a stat sheet. Like would get a sack, like you said, get a sack, get a fumble, get a tip or something like that. I think he has the most chance to do both of those out of everybody, and then I think that's why he would get it. Yeah.
best odds are Sam Darnold, Drake May, JSN, K9, Ramondre, Rashid Shaheed, Stephon Diggs, Nick Eamon Marcus Jones, and Jason
You could just
Myers.
stop at Drake May or Sam Darnold. Someone asked me that, like, who's winning MVP, and I said, well, whoever quarterback wins the game is what it is. And they're like, well, without that, and I said probably JSN. But yeah,
Unless dude has like two picks, like what Malcolm Smith had. Like, well,
even
technically he
even
had
Yeah,
recovered.
yeah,
but
and a touchdown.
but you're gonna have to
So
score one of them for sure.
Yeah.
But even then, now, like because if Sam Darnold plays like he did against the Rams, it doesn't matter what a defensive player does. If he goes off like that, it's a quarterback's every
Or if
time.
K9 goes for like multiple, if like all our touchdowns are K9, then it's K9. But
Well, if all of them, like, yeah, if he scores 4 touchdowns, then yeah,
yeah, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
like, yeah, if he scores four
I
touchdowns,
believe
like,
Cooper Kupp was the last non-quarterback to
yeah,
win MVP. So
yeah, he had like
do it again, Coop.
12,
Do it
12
again, Coop.
catches or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
12 for like 150 and
and
two or
two
something.
touchdowns, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Moment of truth. We got 5 minutes left. Predict this game, gentlemen. I'm gonna start. I have my Seahawks minus 4.5 ticket here. I have taken the Seahawks and the points. I am gaining confidence. I will throw out maybe a weird prediction. I think the Patriots score first, but then the Seahawks get it together and start dominating. And I think the final score is the Patriots trying to tie the game and failing. So I'm going to take the Seahawks 28-20. Sean, what do you got?
I think much like the last time the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, the Seahawks want Drake May to throw the bunch. Drake May is very good, but the problem is going to be if he's down and the Seahawks get up early. I think the worst nightmare for them is getting up early. We've seen how this team adjusts at halftime. I mean, the Panthers game, the Falcons game, Titans game, like they were all like some of these games were ugly, or they were like the Colts game, they were really down, and then their offense just goes nuclear in the second half. Like you better be up at halftime because this offense is going to turn on, and if you're not, you're going to have to rely on Drake May, who, while again is good, but this offensive line we talked about is not good. And this defense is going to be like, okay, you have to throw this football. And that is what happened with the Broncos. The Seahawks want you to throw the football, and they were like, and Peyton Manning's very good, but they're like, you sitting here and becoming one dimensional against this defense is a recipe to get killed. And if the Seahawks get up early, which I think this game they will, it will. I'm not saying it's going to be the Broncos the 43-8 game, but I think they will score first. The Seahawks will, and that will kind of create a little bit of a snowball. I think I don't want to say this game's over before Bad Bunny takes the stage. Kind of hope he is. It'd be like the ultimate funny thing, but I think the Seahawks are going to win pretty handedly. I think it's gonna be 30-20, and that's after a late touchdown by the Patriots.
You said 30 to
To
20?
20.
Okay. Kevin, what do you got?
Yeah. I think nerves come into play a lot, and like I said, there could be some. I think it's possible that we can make a mistake to where it allows them into the game, kind of like what we did with the Rams.
Well, okay, Kevin, just real quick, why do you think they're gonna be nervous?
Well, you do have a lot of young players on that team still, and then like
Patriots have
this.
13 rookies on that team, by the way.
No, I
They have
know.
more than the Seahawks.
I'm not saying that they won't either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay,
Uh,
so but I'm just saying like they have more young kids than we do.
I think everybody's going to try to ball out as best they can. So I think it's going to be. I think we take the points, but it might be a little bit closer. And I wanted to say 20 because I said they're not going to score more than 20. I was going to say 30-24, but I don't think they score more than
Well,
20.
like I said, Kevin, a last minute touchdown could be kind of a
Yeah,
garbage type
garbage time
thing.
stuff. I'm gonna say 33-24.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Well, let us
so
know
yeah,
what your
I actually said it was the closest. Matthew, what did you say?
28-20. So I said eight
Oh,
points.
you
I,
said
I
eight.
think that
Okay.
they're going to get the
Kevin,
ball
you
and
actually
try and drive
predicted
to
the
tie the
biggest
game and
blowout.
not get there. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
actually predicted them to lose by the most.
All right. Well, let us know what you think of the Super Bowl. Go ahead and blue sky us. I'm at Master B. Sean's Nasty Billy 22. Kevin is Emerald Bowler. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Tell us what you think of the topics we talk about in the comments below. We'll be back next week, hopefully celebrating a Super Bowl championship. We'll talk Brendan Donovan, probably some Olympics, maybe some Kraken, some Torrent. We'll see what we
Olympics start
got.
tomorrow at 10 a.m. West Coast time.
Yeah, let's go Canadian curling teams. Do well
Yeah.
out there. Um, and with that, we'll see you next time on Washington East to West Sports. Bring back our Sonics.